Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day. I just wanted to hop online today and make a video about Yemoja, specifically hitting Yemoja ults. Where to look for to line them up, what are good Yemoja ults, what are bad Yemoja ults, what kind of things should we be looking for? Do we want to put people inside the walls, outside the walls? How do we use the ult to reset our Omi? We're going to scrub through this Yemoja game. We're going to be looking through each and every ult that I do, and we're going to be kind of evaluating them. Were they good? What did I do well? What was I trying to do? What could I have done better? And then hopefully we can learn something from watching it together. Whenever you jump into a game, the first thing you want to do is look at the other team and see how many tools do they have to be able to get out of the Yemoja walls. In this game, they have really 3 ways out. The first one, Uller Leap. That's pretty obvious. Second, Baron has a shell. And then third, Afro can get out with her ult, or maybe she could blink out if I don't combat tag her before I ult. So all these different things I'm keeping in mind while I'm playing the game. So I'm going to go through ult by ult, clip by clip through this whole game. And I'll just kind of let you guys watch the clip first, and then we'll break it down and talk about what I was thinking, what I was doing, what I could have done better, and hopefully we can learn something new. Alright, so in this first clip, there's a couple things to note. One, my Morgan is already diving the tower, and this guy just Aegis. He's probably dead no matter what. But, you know, sometimes people overcommit to diving towers. We end up dying for nothing. You know, we need to make sure this guy dies. First thing I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to shell the Morgan. Maybe I can keep her alive. I get my shell off, and Uller leaps away. So at this point, the Uller could possibly escape. Hoyi's kind of far away. Morgan can't hit him anymore. So this is probably a good opportunity to ult. So one mistake I see players make a lot of times is we're always trying to trap people inside the walls and looking directly at them and forcing them to walk toward us so we can get the kill. But that's not always the best way to play Yemoja. One thing specifically here is I'm playing with a Hoyi. Hoyi is able to ricochet off of your Yemoja walls. So what I actually do here is I end up placing the wall behind the Uller. I know his jumps down. I know that he can't get over it. So I end up boxing him in toward my Hoyi so he can get the kill. So there goes the wall. He's stuck on that side, and then Hoyi's just able to bounce and kill him. Oh my god, that guy's dead. Alright, so this next clip, we already talked about the ways for them to get out of Yemoja ult, one of which being Baron having a shell. The goal with this ult here was not to trap him in. It was really for the Omi reset, so we can talk about that real quick. Before we get into that though, I do want to note that I see this spot in mid lane all the time. I get so many kills here placing walls up against this wall over here on the right. So this is definitely a spot that you should look for, kind of walking in through this oracle pit and then walking up perpendicular to this wall. I always find good opportunities here. But so right here, this Baron is already taking a ton of damage. He's super low. But at this point now, I'm out of Omi and I have no more buttons to press. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm just trying to ult to reset my Omi so that way I can get another stun, because off of 1 stun, this guy's dead. Thankfully, we also get a Neath ult here, which is kind of helpful. It holds him in place. He does end up popping the shell, but even if he was just able to walk through with no Neath ult, he'll just be stunned, CC chained, and died. Oh my god, that guy's dead. So this next clip is kind of just being aware of your surroundings and knowing how fast you want to fight to go. So right here is kind of when I noticed the Guan pop up on the ping. This looks like a really easy gank. You know, maybe I don't even need to use my ult. But once we see Guan on the map, we kind of get the idea, okay, maybe there's some other players coming to return gank, and we need to make sure that this fight ends as quickly as possible. So I dump my buttons here. Herc is still a good ways away from the Anubis, and I just need to make sure that he's not able to get away. So I throw up the walls and just end the fight as fast as I can. One thing about Hercs is they're always going to try to dash towards you. They're going to try to dash parallel to the wall direction. So you kind of want to place your stuns or your threes or whatever to try to fully trap them in a full box so that way they can't get out. So right there, even if you would have dashed me, I probably would have caught it with my 1. And this way we're able to clean up the Herc kill before their Baron or their Guan are able to come over and gank. There's more people here, be careful. Free your soul. I'm fine.
That's so true.
And I get it. So this next clip's kind of a Gold Fury fight. I think the important thing to note is you can see the Afro and the ward coming from mid. So she's going to loop around low, and then I have my team, I think there's 4 of us, into their frontliners. At this point, we're probably not going to be able to just burst their front line and fight forward, so we definitely need to retreat, because if we fight into them, the Afro's going to get a really good gank behind us. So I hold my ult here looking for a better opportunity.
I'm fine.
Baron's never going to be able to pull me because I don't have enough hysteria. So then right here I see Uller Baron in front. A lot of people might just try to drop it right here. And maybe that would have been fine. But again, you got to remember this Afro is looping from the bottom left right now. So we definitely want to play out. Maybe it'll pig out. We end up losing the Gold Fury. And at this point, like, the fight's lost. Morgan's dead. This isn't good. But what I can do is I can try to peel with my walls to make sure that they can get no more damage off on this Neath. So that's exactly what I do here is I throw up my wall and I end up even blocking this auto from Aphrodite. Keeping them in. I keep Neath alive and then I'm able to play out through the wall as well. I can stun them right up against the edge, do some return damage, and then maybe the fight didn't go as bad as it would have gone otherwise.
One Aegis.
This clip kind of highlights a couple mistakes. I'll talk about the first one. You know, I think we do a good job of getting some damage off on this Hercules early, but maybe right here, you know, I do end up getting Ularax, but maybe right here, I try to look for a perpendicular ult to split this fight in half, and then we can have a 3v1 on the Herc. Maybe I held my ult for a little too long in this situation. Additionally here, I look for, like, this is a pretty good lineup, but again, we know that Baron has Shell, and that's their #1 way out of the fight. One of the things that I'm trying to do here is really just get my ult off before I die. I thought that maybe Afro was going to kill me or someone else. As Yemoja, you kind of always want to dump your ult before you die. You don't really want to ever die with such a big ability in hand. So I do just try to throw it down. This wasn't the best ult. It wasn't the worst. But I probably should have used it earlier when I was in the perpendicular position to the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, we see Herc. I think we just like...
Yeah, Afro's in.
Wait, this is actually fine. Nice, good job. I got a big ult.
I'm low.
So a couple things with this clip. It's another Gold Fury clip. I think I kind of adjusted well from the previous Gold Fury clip where we didn't really get back quick enough. This kind of the same issues happening here. We've got the Herc, and I believe Afro as well, rotating in from the mid lane. So we definitely want to reposition. We don't want to get pinched up in the Gold Fury pit right here. So I call the team to turn around. We see Herc. I think we just like...
Yeah, Afro's in.
So we're in a much better position now to win this fight. Wait, this is actually fine. We get really good damage off. Nice, good job. And then now I can see Baron's pretty much out of the fight, and I've got a pretty good lineup here, so I go for it. But the issue is, like I said before, Hercules is always going to try to play parallel to the walls. He's always going to dash into you. So in this situation, Afro's kind of too far away from my backline to hit them. You can also note like where my Anubis and my Neath are on the map. And then this Hercules is just going to run straight forward and hit us. I got a big ult.
I'm low.
So that ult really ended up not being too great. I think it was fine to look for, but again, maybe I should have dropped my ult earlier or waited longer for a better opportunity. Go on horse down. Can we group? Can we help this guy? I don't do enough damage. So this clip is kind of to highlight how important it is to note where your teammates are on the map whenever you're dumping Yemoja ult. Down. Can we group? Can we help this guy? So first thing here, Anubis is already dead, making this a 3v3. Hoyi's in right, and my Neath has just dumped her buttons on the wave. So she has no 1-2 combo. Additionally, my Neath is really, really far in terms of being able to follow up even if she did have buttons. So I think from this fight, we should just be walking away. I go for a pretty decent lineup here and I'm able to catch them, but again, I do end up leaving a hole for the Guan Yu to walk out of, but we just have no follow-up damage for this kind of engagement. It's just kind of not really a good ult. I should have just held it and walked away. Right, this is good. That's huge. I have ult in 3. Yo, keep chasing. This is really good.
I almost just one-shot that guy.
Oh my god. Dude, what a wall. Yo, where's that horse going? Yo, where's the horse going? So this is a really good example of a good Yemoja ult. We're able to get the kill onto Afro early, and we see Herc in the left lane, making this essentially a 5v3. So we want to make sure that we continue to press W. Baron looks to ult to try to peel out for the Afro, so now this guy is just sort of a sitting duck. Oh, this is good. That's huge. I have ult in 3. Yo, keep chasing. This is really good.
I almost just one-shot that guy.
With Baron dead there, now this is just a super free alt lineup. There's nowhere for either of them to go. We know Uller jump is down, and Guan can't jump out of it, so. Again, this is this lineup I talked about earlier. Right outside of the T1 tower, I see so many people try to flee to their T1 tower, and they fall for this really, really good angle. There's just no way out. Oh my god. Dude, what a wall. Yo, where's that horse going? Yo, where's the horse going? I definitely don't want to do that to people, because that's not nice. Holy frick. Oh my god, I'm Yemojing! I'm Yemojing! I'm Yemojing! Oh! So this is another example of a really good Yemoja wall. Baron has already died at the start of the fight, so we know that they don't have a shell. And anytime that you're controlling the Gold Fury pit, there's all kinds of big like rocks and separators that create these little corridors in and around the Gold Fury pit. So it's a really good place to look for offensive Yemoja walls. So right here, I'm just looking to step up and trap all these guys against the rock. I definitely don't want to do that to people, because that's not nice. I get a really good lineup. I'm able to catch the Guan Yu dash. And then now these three are just sitting ducks for my whole back lane. Holy frick. Oh my god, I'm Yemojing! I'm Yemojing! I'm Yemojing! Oh! Dude, I'm gonna be gaming on these guys here. Dude, they're actually all owned. They're actually so owned. Oh my god. So this is another example of a great wall. A lot of times on Phoenix Sieges, especially when they're already a man down, so in this case, right, Baron's already down. That's their only guy with a shell on their team. I'm often looking for walls on either of these side walls here. It's a pretty easy lineup, and you can put it in such a way that they can't escape. Another one that I'm looking for is people tend to hide right behind the bird because they can't get hit by, you know, autos and stuff through the bird. But you can kind of just play the wall perpendicular to that and then trap them in and force them towards you. So I'm always kind of looking for walls here when I'm sieging birds. This one in particular, I mean, they have no shell. They're super trapped. Hoi also drops his wall as well, so they're really, really stuck in there. A lot of times when you see me using Yemoja ult, I'm kind of flicking my camera. I'm kind of turning around. Once I drop my ult, I want to look back to my team to see what's going on. You know, are they getting dove? Do I need to throw heals? Do I need to stun someone off someone? I'm always trying to keep my head on a swivel. I'm looking at both the dive and my backline. Dude, they're actually all owned. But here, this wall, I mean, it just completely encloses them. They're just completely stuck on the corner, and we just kill everybody. They're actually so owned. Oh my god.
I half health Baron for now. No buttons for 5.
Yeah, well, we can fight here. Oh my gosh, dude. Surely we win, right? Dude, how do we not win off that? This is another great lineup that I use all the time when fighting over pyromancers. Whenever this objective starts to get low, people just funnel into you and you're able to get a pretty good lineup. Obviously the Baron's alive here and he has shell. So it's not an ideal situation since most of them can probably get out.
For now.
But if you watch here, even in this situation, the delay between when my wall goes up and the time when Baron hits shell, if my backline were to have been a little closer, and maybe that's something I should have been noting when I threw up the wall, we probably could have blown people up even before they're able to walk out of it with shell. However, anytime you see a 4 or 5 man lineup, you know, especially in a team fight like this with 5 people, I think it's better to just send it than to wait for the absolute perfect opportunity. I kind of noted this at the beginning of the video, but whenever you're scrubbing through and looking at these different alts, look at the timestamps in which I'm using them. I'm almost never holding an alt longer than what the cooldown of it is. But here, I throw up the wall. I get a really good lineup. I trap 4 people in. And look at how long it takes Baron to actually shoot the shell here. If my backline was closer, we probably could have blown up some of their squishies before they even get it off. He gets the shell off and they manage to walk away. But either way, this is a really good engagement, even if all I'm doing is burning shell. 5k. Alright, next I just kind of wanted to highlight a clip of maybe what I'm doing when I'm looking to defend fire giants. So a lot of times what I try to do is I try to throw up my walls in such a way that their backline, that their DPS cannot continue to hit the fire giant. 5k. This situation was a little awkward because their Afro was actually doing the right thing. She was playing high pit in order to fight my team, so she's over in front of me and to the left a little bit. Whereas most of the time I see backliners in the position where Uller is over here on the right. So what I'm able to do is throw up my wall kind of right on the fire giant, and then that stops DPS from anyone who's outside of the wall. especially people who are throwing autos who, you know, can't penetrate the wall. This is an unfortunate situation where they kind of already have bomb down, Afro's in a good position, so we don't end up winning the Fire Giant. But there's a number of Fire Giants that I've been able to win by stopping their DPS with Yemoja walls.
You guys still have Afro Baron chasing me. This is hilarious.
Nice. Yo, go gold, go gold, go gold. So this clip here, I want to highlight a couple things. The first thing really is you don't have to wait for the perfect ult that's going to trap a ton of people. And different game situations are going to require you to use ults at different times. So in this situation, you just saw in the last clip, we lost the Fire Giant. So now we're playing from behind, and anytime we can get a pick and get Fire Giant off of any of their players, it's really worth it for us. So in this situation, I could have maybe waited longer and got a trap where I catch both Uller and Herc, but Uller probably has leap. You know, I might not have gotten this so tight in catching Hercules here. And I also want this fight to go as fast as possible. If you notice in the top left of the screen, Neath has been being chased by the rest of their team, which means there's 3 players up here on the Neath, and then 2 players in front of me. So once we kill this guy, the space between us and them, we can go and grab Gold Fury before they can ever get there to intercept it. So I throw up the wall. Herc is totally trapped.
Baron chasing me. This is hilarious.
And we kill him and we can go to gold. Nice.
Okay, there's the funnel. Circle. Herc Stampede. Still on it, very lightly.
5k. Oh my god, we got it. Oh my god, get away, we got away with robbery. Run, 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 run. Get the fuck out. So this next clip is kind of an improvement from that earlier Fire Giant fight. If you guys remember when I kind of did the ult that was parallel to the Fire Giant, and everyone was sort of able to get out. This time I ulted a little bit earlier, and I ulted perpendicular to the pit to try to create a 3v1 on the enemy team.
Circle.
So right here, Hercules has stepped up super far, and my entire backline is over on this side of where the wall's going to be. So now I've effectively created a 3v1 on the Herc, instead of creating an ult where, you know, maybe I've trapped 4 people, but they can all walk forward at us. So I'm able to separate it and put it in a really good position where this is a 3v1 on the Herc. We don't end up getting the kill because we didn't just have quite enough DPS, but this is a really good example of an ult to look for whenever you're fighting over Fire Giant. I just wanted to include this last clip as well, just to highlight the Omi reset again. We ended up wiping their team in a team fight and right, and we wanted to get to the Titan as quick as possible. I probably didn't need to do this, but it's helpful nonetheless. I was out of Omi. I'm throwing hoops to get us there as fast as I can.
My half charge ult just hit Afro for 900 damage.
So I end up ulting again just to reset my Omi cooldown, so that way I can get a couple more hoops and we can get to we can get to their Titan faster.
Let's go.
So I end up getting like 3 more hoops off of that reset. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was very informative and maybe you could learn kind of how to place your Yemoja walls better, when to do it, when not to do it, different ways to utilize it. You don't always have to trap people in the middle. You can trap people on the outside. You can use it to reset your cooldowns. There's so many different ways to play this character. It's so strong. If you have any questions, comments, if you want to see more videos like this, please leave a comment on the video down below and I'll continue making them if you like them. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.